When we speak of trap music, making a nice fat sound for your drop doesn't always have to mean synthesis. You can go creative and use literally any sample as the main sound for your drop. Let's take a look at percussion layering and post-processing. Alright, let's take a look at this particular example. Here I've got a nice percussion sample from a third-party library that actually inspired me to create a whole trap song, which I've called Venom. And here's how it sounds clean. Well, the very first thing I want to do before I start manipulating the sound is to change its pitch. Let's set pitch to plus 600 cents, which basically means 6 semitones up, or half steps as they are known in the United States. Okay, another thing that I want to do is to make it a bit shorter, to cut the tail a bit. To do so, let's simply change the out value in this sampler. This will work. Let's move on to the next stage. Let's add some post-processing to it, to make it nice and fat. And the first thing that we need to do is a compression. I'm using the analog of the Ableton Live OTT compressor made by Xfer. Let's set a depth at 50% and mid and low frequency gain at around 10 o'clock. Now I would like to add some more space to the sound, so I'll add some reverb to it. I prefer using Pro R by FabFilter, but you can use whatever you want and wherever you get used to. It's not so important. I'm going to set the space knob at around 3 seconds and the mix at 30%. Nice. Another thing that I want to do is to add a bit of distortion. For this purpose, I'm using the Maximus plugin. Let's select the preset that is called Distortion No Latency and boost the post gain on master at around 8 dB. So it basically serves as an additional compression. And the final touch is of course an EQ. Let's cut everything below 100 Hz and get rid of the mud. Just frequencies that we don't like. That's the key to a good clean mix. Always get rid of annoying unnecessary frequencies on all sounds. That makes a huge difference all the time. Awesome, now that we are satisfied with the result and we are set and done to start creating a simple melody pattern with this sound. We're going to start with this one. Oh, but first we need to route this channel to the sidechain. I'm using an empty channel with some volume automation. I find this way the most reliable way of sidechaining. Okay. To create a nice groovy trap drop, it's important to keep it simple and not to overwhelm listeners with the information. In our case, I think 2 simple notes will be just fine. This little trick, this will work just fine, but it sounds quite boring. Let's just copy it, shift it to the left and the other one to the right. And just simply duplicate the melody and shift it to the side a bit. To create a nice stereo harmony. Yeah, it's getting better, but it still feels a bit empty, and to fix that we will layer another sound to this one to make it full and tight. In this case, this vocal sample will help us just perfectly. Just duplicate the melody once again. Whoops, let's bring the velocity up and try that again. Huge difference, right? Perfect. Layering is always a good idea. Now let's take a listen to the final version of the drop. As you can hear, here I've added some variations using some more percussion samples that I found. This particular part is just more layering to our basic pattern. But instead of using the same notes, I've shifted a melody up and added some more harmonies to the sound. I think it worked pretty well. And for the final part of the drop, it's a set of these sounds. With again as simple melody as possible, just a repetition of two notes that are close to each other. I'm not good at music theory, but I think it's called a trill. So, we've just made a drop using some third-party percussion samples as our main instruments. But let's go ahead and record our own samples. We're gonna take something everyone has at home and make something cool out of it. I always love to say that you have to use maximum out of what you already have before you get something new. You know, this situation when people worry too much that they have no fancy instruments, controllers, monitors and stuff like that, which, as they say, doesn't allow them to make high-quality stuff. Well, remember, those are just additional tools. The main part of this music-making process is you and your creativity. So just use it 100%. Alright, let's see what we've got here. Here's our little set of wooden sticks. We are going to be working with them on our second drop. Let's set pitch on all of them at plus 600 cents and set the out parameter at around 3 o'clock. We are going to recycle the same mixing channel. In my case, it's number 6. And set minus 600 cents on this one. Cool, now let's come up with another simple rhythm using these sticks. Let's start with this sample. I feel that we got to stick to D sharp on this one. Actually, let's make it a one-note melody. We are going to make it more interesting with the help of layering in a minute. I'm going to copy this pattern and use it with this sample. Shift it once again. Oh, you know, let's actually try with this one. Yep, much better. And we are going to use a third one for the harmony, using G sharp with this same rhythm. I would like to have some tiny variations for this sample. Let's see what we can do. Yeah, something like that. Keep it simple and repetitive. Nice! Another final touch left. Let's layer our previous vocal sample to it. Yeah, we've used it in our very first drop. But now I think that the octave number 6 will work better. Okay, something like this will be just perfect. Let's take a listen to the whole drop. Here I've used some more samples, like this icicles crash sound, and another one, and another wooden hit. And this layer is basically just a copy of the layer number 14, but with one slight difference. I've added more harmonies by raising this sample's tonality by 5 semitones. I think it worked very awesome because it feels different, though we avoided layering more sounds to it, making our drop a bit overwhelmed. And here comes some sort of a hi-hat sound that I made using this metallic kitchen tool sound. Yeah, and I've set the pitch down by 1 octave and cut all the mids. Something like that. And the final touch, I've duplicated a layer number 22 from our first drop, but have used our new sounds with the same melody. And that's basically it. Without hours of synthesis and with the help of our imagination and recording device, which can easily be your smartphone, we've made quite a nice trap tune. All the rest are just details which require some time and experience to pick it all together. But all the main sounds for these drops were produced by a very regular things that surround us every day. We have just used them in a very creative way and had a lot of fun working on it. Hope you really enjoyed this video. Subscribe for more and bring your friends. We are gonna be working on some more high quality interesting stuff together. If you want to support me, you can become my patron. In return, you will get an access to my serum presets, loops and samples, and FL Studio projects that I'll be posting on my Patreon page. This particular project, as well as some presets, samples and loops that I've used in it, are available to my patrons as well. So follow the link in the comment section and visit my Patreon page. I would be really grateful for that. This is actually very motivating to create more content and to create it more often. Thank you very much for watching and see you in the next video. Bye!
I'm invincible. I'm a phenom.